BEEX project is a no-profit foundation about visual art and photography. If you want to help us, just drop a donation on buymeacoffee.com/BerlinExplorer. Welcome to this 50 minutes of experience. Today I'm with Didier Vanderperre, based in New York City. So welcome to this podcast.
Thank you very much.
So, as you know, I would like to ask you first if you can introduce a bit yourself, and then we can talk a bit more freely.
Yes, of course. My name is Didier Vanderperre. I was born and raised in France, but I've been living in New York for now over 30 years. And for me now, I've reached a point where I'll be able to dedicate most of my time to photography going forward, and I'm really, really excited about this actually.
That's really nice. Yeah, that you can dedicate your time in that. I'm trying to doing more than what I was doing before in these last days, and I can understand the feeling. And yeah, it's let's talk about your work. You're a street photographer, documentary photographer, no? We can say you're a reporter, no?
Yeah. I mean, I'm a street photographer. Not only, I mean, I don't do purely street. I do a lot of, what we call travel documentary photography, which also encompasses, street as well. But I mean, living in New York City, actually, you tend to do more street because it's, sort of heaven for street photography.
Yeah, I know. I was talking of that the last podcast with another photographer that is based in the Queens area, and
okay.
I said, yeah, it's for sure totally another world to shoot photography in New York than I don't know, in Europe, for example. It's totally another flow.
Yes, it is.
And but watching at your profile on Instagram, especially, there is a lot of other countries, and so then I can imagine that you travel a lot. And I want to ask you, there is a particular reason that you travel, or just you doing for yourself, or you can combine that with something else?
Mostly I travel for myself. I mean, in the last 2 years, of course, I've been kind of bogged down and been stuck at home, which allowed me to shoot more in New York City. However, no, I'm really looking forward to resume traveling and go out and, take pictures. For me, it's a combination of the two. It's travel and street, and photography goes hand in hand, and one allows me to do the other. For me, traveling is the excuse to go take pictures, and I want to go take pictures, so I want to travel. So it works both ways.
Yeah, I can imagine. So it's a really. I mean, I will love to travel like that. I mean, it's amazing because you see a lot of things, and also the way you get in touch, shooting them. I can imagine that you are most of the time really close, and even if you are away, like your vision is so focused, no? I like the way you watch in the street. It's particular, I have to say. And in this podcast, we talk about experience, and I would like that you can share some experience that you have. I mean, there are 1,000 years in front of me, and I would like to know more than what I see.
Well, for me, really, photography in general, and I will not limit it to street photography. It's a discovery. So basically, you go out there. You never know what you're going to find, but you always find something. That's the great thing about, the combination of traveling and photography is just you go out and you have your camera, and you eventually walk right into a scene that's interesting, and then that leads to meeting people and talking to people, and having a great encounter with strangers who really 99.9% of the time, I mean, everybody is very friendly, and that's what makes it very interesting, and it's something that you can never get enough of it. It's just like a drug. It's just every time you go, you will have a new experience, a new encounter, and that's really, really, really fun.
Yeah, and what you do it usually to get in touch with people? I mean, when you talk with them, but yeah, there are moments when you don't talk at all with them.
Well, there are two things. I mean, when you're really out there to take pictures, most of the time it's better if you don't start engaging with them first, because then you kind of ruin the moment. Very often you ruin the moment. So basically, what I like to do is often start shooting, and once I think I have a shot, or I think the scene is evolving well, then I interact with people. And then there is this moment during the interaction where taking pictures is very difficult, because people start posing, people start talking, people start looking at you. So it's probably not the ideal moment, but then the scene, unfolds in front of you, and then people go back to their usual stuff, and then again you can shoot. So yes, I like interacting with people, because I mean, I think it's the right thing to do, and when you take their pictures, just not like go in and take a shot and go away. Sometimes I do it, but I like the interaction. That's fun, even if it's not a huge conversation, because very often there is a language barrier. But just a smile, say hello, tell them where you're from. It could be very, very basic, but there's still some kind of connection between you and the subject. That's important.
Yeah, it's really important. I think I love to connect with people. So then usually it's always more than one shot, and there are moments where we shoot and we don't interconnect, but in a way, let's say we make connection with our camera, and then in a way they don't know that you shoot a picture, but this picture in a way become part of yourself, no? Become a memory, or more than a memory sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and sometimes it's a trick, because sometimes you like a picture because of the memory, and it's not necessarily your best picture, because the memory is just for you. It's not for the viewer.
Yeah, for sure. I'm recently in some podcasts asking questions about what do you think you will do it with your picture. I mean, you accumulated a lot of scene, of realities, and how do you feel this picture, where this picture will go, or what this picture will become? I mean, this is a practical question about not only archiving picture, but also after we shoot the picture, we can say, yeah, today most of us, we reserve the picture on our social profile, on our computers, on the server, or in the website. But in a way, yeah, if I don't have, I don't know, the perception that you exist, it's really difficult then for me to discover your picture, no? And in a way, that is a limit for most of us to cannot better engage with others. And I ask to myself often, how can be a solution to make able this picture for everyone to use in a way, even as documents for the future generation. And I wanted to know more about if you think something about that, and if you have some solution, if you thought about some solution.
Well, solution, I don't know. I don't think I have a magic one here. Yes, I like what I do. I like my pictures, obviously. I like to share them with people. And as you rightfully said, I mean, social media is the natural gateway to show your work. I mean, it's kind of a curse because it's a sweet and sour thing. I mean, in a way, there are no better ways than social media to get exposure, because this is how you can reach the most people and the fastest way to do so. At the same time, it's also the worst way to display your work, because if you take Instagram, I mean, you show your picture that you have put a lot of effort on it, and you show this on a smartphone and low resolution, and you know, a picture that's 2 inch by 1 inch. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, there is no worse way to display your work than social media, actually. So that's, you know, the conundrum here is just, in a way, the best way, the fastest and most effective way to show your work, and at the same time, it's the worst way to display it. But you know, it's a must. The way I would like to do it, and what I'd like to end up doing eventually, is, you know, get a book out, because this is probably the best way to display your work, and also to show a comprehensive body of work that has a meaning, a beginning and an end, and show just not one picture on Instagram, but an entire body, whether it's a project or on a country or a long-term thing, that I really would like to do. It seems to be now the flavor of the day. Many photographers are publishing right now, because I think we've all have been stuck at home for so long. So since we have not been able to really go out and take pictures, a lot of people stay home and
yeah, they are spending time on the archive and watching what they did, what they did collect. No?
Yeah. So that's a lot of people have done that. For me, you know, I'm in a comfortable situation where I know for some photographers who publish, it's very important to have a project that's financially sound. You know, I have friends, photographers, who actually, you know, they do publish, but they need to make a living out of it. And that's very difficult, because then, you know, it's not easy to be able to publish a book and make it profitable.
And I know it's what we do it. So then it's really difficult. I will say. I mean, not impossible. Right. It's not impossible, but not difficult.
It's not impossible, but it's very difficult. So, but it makes things even harder. As far as I'm concerned, you know, you'd like to put eventually some project together in form of a book. I'm not quite there yet. I'm in the early stage of researching that and find, you know, the right medium, the right way to do it. I mean, there is. I mean, luckily now, I mean, it looks like there's been a lot more publishers than ever before that are popping out, and you can, you know, get a book together with a limited number of copies for a reasonable price, or at least something that's not totally financially overwhelming.
It's what I'm also doing right now, as not only as a project of Berlin Explorer, but as myself. I mean, in private. Because in a way, as a curator, I really like to work on books, and I think books are in a way much more interesting than exhibition in some ways, because it's like you go in an exhibition every time you want, and you have there at home. But in some other ways, I think also I'm thinking about I would like to get in touch even better with the libraries and archives in the world, because I think it's nice to buy a book for yourself, but will be even more nice for me to have financial help from governments in general, a different country, and to make available these books in libraries, then people can use, they can see, and they can be in a way preserved for everyone, and not only for who has the money to buy it or to finance. But yeah, this is
Yeah.
in a way an utopic and a dream of mine. It's really difficult.
Yeah.
Because
Exhibitions are really tough. I've done some in the past. It's great, but it's a very short-lived project, and it's a financial nightmare because basically you exhibit your work in a museum or in a gallery or wherever, and after and it's expensive because you need to print large format, a lot of images. So in the end, it's an expensive project, and it's very short-lived. So and after that, you get back your prints, and unless you do, if you're lucky enough, if you're Steve McCurry, you can re-show your exhibition over and over again. But if you are a less known artist, you basically pack your stuff and it sits there. And whereas with a book, kind of stays. It's available and can be sent to someone for a reasonable price, and it's a project that can live on much longer.
Yeah.
So for that, I think a book might be more permanent, more rewarding for the photographer than an exhibition, personally speaking.
For sure. It's what I think too. It's they are totally on another level. I mean, and the cost, I mean, if we want to then really make a point of that, they cost also less than doing an exhibition, because an exhibition, if you want to do it really good, I mean, normally good, you have to spend a lot of money. And in the end, with the same money you spend for one copy of every print you have to do it, you print sometimes even more than 100 books.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So yeah, and did you do it some books before or not?
No, I mean, no, I never actually published any books. I mean, just a couple of copies for myself, but I never actually published a book, and it's something now that I have the time going forward, it's something I'd like to put more effort and thought into it.
So I will try to push you a bit to make a book. With all this content you have, it's really, I think it's really nice to have something new. Another idea I was having some months ago was even to publish kind of a little book of every photographer I was getting in touch with the podcast.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And I mean, it's really expensive, that idea, but to doing like really limited edition and really making always in pre-order, cold war.
Yeah,
like having a portfolio, a small project that you can give away, or it's everyone wise. I think in a way it's has different connection, even if we have small connection. But
look at this woman Gulnara, who studied women street photographers, and she took off like wildfire. I mean, and she published a very beautiful book of just women street photography.
Yeah, this is another movement. Is actually going on, women photography. But yeah, I mean, I will. In any case, for me, it doesn't matter if they are man, woman, dog, or else they are. It's the nice part, I think, is to check the word. That the beautiful part of photography, I think, is that exactly we don't have gender. We cannot recognize so fast the gender in a photograph. So it doesn't matter what is the color of your skin, or if you have a dick or a pussy. It's the same if you're a dog. What is how old are you, and so on. So it's not really recognizable. That I mean, there are some studies about we can with experience we can see that, but I mean, not everyone. it's really complicated that we can guess about. So anyway, was nice to talk with you, and
Okay, likewise.
I hope to have more talk with you in the new year. We are almost in the end of this year, and I hope in the next year you will be able more to travel again, because really curious also what is the production of this pandemic in other countries. And I think, yeah, you too know, in a way, it's this period changed many things, also in the way the people connect each other.
Yes. I mean, I think we're gonna have to be used to people wearing masks, but I think, I mean, I'm hopeful things will go back to normal.
I don't know. Normal
Fairly near future.
For me, it's a word really particular, normal. But I think it's for me didn't change a lot, I have to say. But for many other people, I had, for example, in this period, this last year, I lost 4 friends of mine. They killed themselves, and that's when yeah, in a way I perceive the world in a way, but yeah, other people maybe perceive the world in a totally different way. And this is like the change I talk about. There are some people also, they closed themselves even more, because probably they had no connection before. They had not they were not aware to be alone, and yeah, there are a lot of people lost something. It's not only about wearing mask. I think it's also the way we connect each other, and even also other people, they probably before were not connecting with other people. Now they are doing that. So I think, yeah, it's also in the structure of the architecture, it's changed something, because who had the money to work on that, continued to work on that, and started to build many more other things. I mean, here in Berlin, it's quite big, the change they are doing during the pandemic, and this highlighted many things that was hidden before.
True. Yeah. It revealed a lot of problems and everything else. Absolutely.
So thank you again for your time, and if you want to see the work of Didier, I mean, it's really nice to see a lot of information about many different countries. You can check the Instagram on Didier Vanderperre, and the website is in the description. Thank you again for your time.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for listening to this podcast, and if you want to learn more about us, you can visit the link allmylinks.com, Berlin Explorer, or our website BEEXproject.com. And if you want to follow us, you can always get news from Instagram on our account BEEX Project. Thank you again, and see you in the next episode.